Hi, I'm Pastor Theron. Welcome to Church Where You Are and Story Sermons, relating life's experiences to the Bible. I'd like to tell you a story. But first, I'd like to say a special word of thanks and welcome to some really great supporters, those who believe in what we're doing here. First and foremost, I'd like to say a special word of thanks to my wife, Misty, who always supports me and believes me and helps me get all this ready and helps me share all of this. I really appreciate you. I'd like to say a special word of welcome and thanks to some of our family here in Tennessee and down in Louisiana and really across the country, wherever you might be. Thanks for watching and sharing these videos and commenting on them. I really appreciate the support. Today, instead of sharing a story so much, I'd like to share a theory. It's a theory that I've come up with a number of years ago regarding Jesus' resurrection. It is Easter Sunday, 2021. It's April 4th, and it is another Easter when we can celebrate Jesus' resurrection from the dead. It makes all of this possible, that he is the first fruits of the resurrection, and we benefit from that. I don't really have any basis of fact to support my theory, but I've thought about it a long time. I've tried to make the times and days of the week and everything match up based upon the evidence in the text, and I'd like to share that theory with you. The story of Jesus' death and resurrection can be found in all four Gospels. I'm going to read today from the book of Mark regarding Jesus' death and then his resurrection, and then I'd like to show you my theory on the whiteboard behind me. The story of Jesus' death goes like this. At the 6th hour, darkness came over the whole land until the 9th hour. And at the 9th hour, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? And when some of those standing near heard this, they said, listen, he's calling on Elijah. One man ran and filled a sponge with wine vinegar and put it on a stick and offered it to Jesus to drink. Now leave him alone and let's see if Elijah comes down to take him, they said. And with a loud cry, Jesus breathed his last. The story of his resurrection is just a few verses down, beginning in chapter 16 of Mark. It says, when the Sabbath was over, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Salome brought spices so that they might go to anoint Jesus' body. Very early on the first day of the week, just after sunrise, they were on the way to the tomb, and they asked each other, who will roll the stone away from the entrance of the tomb? But when they looked up, they saw that the stone, which was very large, had been rolled away. And as they entered the tomb, they saw a young man dressed in a white robe, sitting on the right side, and they were alarmed. Don't be alarmed, he said. You are looking for Jesus the Nazarene, who was crucified. He has risen. He is not here. See the place where they laid him. But go, tell his disciples and Peter, he is going ahead of you into Galilee. There you will see him, just as he told you. To understand this story a little better, I think it's a good idea, first and foremost, to understand the 7-day week of the Israelites and of the Romans and the way they looked at the days of the week and the way they looked at time. So in order to do this, first and foremost, you have to understand that the Sabbath day is Saturday. It is not Sunday. We go to church on Sunday to celebrate the resurrection of Jesus. But for the Jews, the Sabbath day is actually Saturday. The Passover begins the evening before, Friday evening at sundown, which is about 6 p.m., let's say. That's usually the time they figure. So in order to understand all of this and the haste in which Jesus was buried and why they were going back to anoint the body with spices that would have already been done and all of that, we have to take a look at the events that unfolded through those days. So as the story goes, Jesus was tried on Thursday night. He had his Passover meal, his Last Supper, with his disciples on Thursday. Thursday, going into Friday morning, he was found to be in the Garden of Gethsemane early that Friday morning, and he was taken by the mob down to the city, down to Jerusalem. He was tried in front of Caiaphas, and he was tried in front of the court, and he was found to be guilty of leading an insurrection and guilty of, he was charged with all of this and led off to be killed. So the events that took place all took place on Friday leading up to the Sabbath day. The Sabbath day, which is Saturday, and then ultimately the first day of the week, which we call Sunday. Sunday is the first day of the week. Even on your modern day calendar, Sunday is all the way to the left because Sunday is the first day of the week. So to figure all of this out, we think of the times, and it says that Jesus was crucified about the third hour. Well, in order to understand that, we have to understand Roman time. Roman time, the day began at 6 a.m. And so the third hour would be 9 a.m. The sixth hour, when darkness covered the land, would be noon. And Jesus cried out in a loud voice about the ninth hour and breathed his last, which would be 3 p.m. So Jesus died Friday afternoon at 3 p.m. or about that time. And you'll remember that as a Sabbath day, as the evening started approaching, they were concerned that the people, the three of them hanging on the crosses there on Golgotha, would have to be taken down off the crosses because Roman law did not allow anybody to be being crucified on the Sabbath day. They were surprised, if you'll remember the story or go back and read, that to find Jesus had died so early. The other two, the thieves on his left and his right, had to have their legs broken so that they could not escape, taken down off of the crosses, and put back up. I can't even imagine. But Jesus, they were surprised that he was already dead. And it's 3 in the afternoon. They took his body down. They hastily wrapped it with some linen. And as the story goes, he was laid in a borrowed tomb of a rich man who had made this tomb for himself, and no one had ever been in it. So Jesus is in a brand new tomb, and he spends, as we know the story, 3 days in the grave. My theory is that it's not 3 24-hour days, but 3 named days. He was in the grave Friday, Saturday, and resurrected Sunday morning. Let me go into a little more detail. So he dies at 3 p.m. Friday afternoon, leading up to midnight Saturday morning, which would go into the Sabbath day, or the next day, as we would look at it. Midnight 01 begins Saturday, and midnight 01 Sunday morning, which would be all day Saturday, all day the Sabbath day, a period of 24 hours. And so if we take these numbers and we say, okay, Jesus died at about 3 p.m. until 12 a.m., how much time is that? Well, that is 9 hours. If you go from 3 p.m., 6, 9 to 12 a.m., that is 9 hours. 9 plus the 24 hours he was in the grave on the Sabbath, we get a total of 33, which in itself is an important number in the Bible. The Bible is full of important numbers. One God, Trinity is 3, 7 days of the week, 10 is an important number, 12 is an important number. You have the 12 tribes of Israel and these types of things. But there's another very important number in the Bible, and it's almost reached with the number 33, and that would be 40. So in order to get to 40, we would need, this is 33, 7 more hours. So from midnight Sunday morning until 7 a.m., that would be 40. It is my theory that Jesus was in the grave 40 hours, or in the the place called death, be more specific about it. He was in the place called death for 40 hours, from 3 p.m. Friday till 7 a.m. in the morning. And as the story goes that I just read, the women went early on the first day of the week, which is Sunday, to anoint his body, which had been hastily taken down, hastily buried, to have it done before the Sabbath day, which you're not supposed to work. Now on the first day of the week, as the sun was coming up, and I looked at the latitude parallels of Jerusalem, which is 31.76 latitude, which is about the same latitude as southern Georgia, southern Alabama, Mississippi, across the middle of Louisiana and Texas. So we know that the sun comes up then about this time of the year at about 7. So it all makes sense, at least in my mind. And then the importance of the number 40. The Israelites spent 40 years in the wilderness. Jesus spent 40 days in the desert being tempted by the devil. 40 is an important number. And so for me, the theory is that the number 40 is significant. And even here, that Jesus spent 40 hours in the place called death, following his crucifixion and leading up to the resurrection, which to me happened at 7 a.m. Sunday morning. And here we are, all these years later, Sunday morning, celebrating Easter Sunday. I hope this speaks to you. I hope you can appreciate the thought and effort that went into this. I hope it blesses you. Thanks for watching.